And welcome back for Chapter 13. I'm Lloyd Dobler, and this is the Tao of Lloyd, the podcast where I take the Tao Te Ching one chapter at a time and aim it at the United States, a patient in the collapsing empire's ER, running on 3% battery and bad decisions. So, let's talk about the National Guard members shot with one dead in Washington, D.C. In days of old, that would have been a news cycle firing a starter pistol into our cortisol glands. But that was before Columbine, before Sandy Hook, before Trump floated down the escalator in Trump Tower to announce he was running for president the first time. But in the United States, we have grown so used to shootings that the national fight or flight reflex right now mostly just hits snooze. Combine that with the unique adrenaline hangover of the Trump era, where every story feels like the 100th sequel in a franchise that refuses to end. And it's like we're all trapped in a political version of Groundhog Day directed by Alfred Hitchcock, where the monster reveal is just America taking off its mask, and where every door creaks ominously because it's another constitutional norm collapsing. Here's what happened in D.C. A former CIA-linked Afghan man opened fire near the White House, shooting 2 National Guard members. One of them died. And by CIA-linked Afghan, we mean one of the thousands of allies who once helped the United States at great personal risk and now gets reduced to a 3-word label that absolves us from dealing with the blowback of our foreign policy. It was a tragedy, full stop. Human beings harmed, a life lost, a family shattered, multiple families shattered. A 20-year-old member of the National Guard, Sarah Beckstrom, is dead, and Andrew Wolf, just 24 years old, is critically wounded. Why? The National Guard are in D.C. because Trump is trying to manifest fascism the way some people manifest parking spots. Visualize it. Speak it into existence and surround yourself with enough uniforms that the universe gets the hint. And before the smoke had even cleared, before anyone could remember that grief isn't supposed to be instantaneous political currency, President Trump posted on social media, quote, "I will permanently pause migration from all third world countries to allow the U.S. system to fully recover, terminate all of the millions of Biden illegal admissions. Only," and here is, all caps, "reverse migration can fully cure this situation. Other than that, happy Thanksgiving to all, except those that hate, steal, murder, and destroy everything that America stands for. You won't be here for long!" Our president wrote on his own social media. Permanently pausing migration from all third world countries, even by empire's usual standards, it's a lot of pauses for a country that never once hit the pause button on bombing the places it now refuses help from. And there, in the middle of the political crossfire, sit tens of thousands of Afghan refugees, people we invited here to the United States through Operation Allies Welcome, people who risked their lives to stand beside U.S. forces are now being treated like a bargaining chip in a dystopian congressional poker game. Because nothing says land of the free like punishing the people who trusted you. Nothing says home of the brave like panicking at the existence of the very allies you promised to protect. And with that noise and with that story swimming around your skull, let's prepare for the reading, for the meditative stillness at the center of the episode. Settle in. Get comfortable. Close your eyes. Or don't. I'm not your spiritual advisor. Or am I? Consider closing your eyes? What have you got to lose? Unless you're listening to that one guy online explaining who really killed Charlie Kirk and why, or you are destroying the health insurance lobby so we can finally get true national health care for all, or you are releasing the unredacted Epstein files. Unless you're doing any of that, just go ahead and close your eyes. start the journey within. Breathe in through your nose. Good. And breathe out through your nose, like you're exhaling on the cold mirror of a country trying not to see what it's become. Good. This is chapter 13 of the Tao Te Ching. Success is as dangerous as failure. Hope is as hollow as fear. What does it mean that success is as dangerous as failure? Whether you go up the ladder or down it, your position is shaky. When you stand with your 2 feet on the ground, you will always keep your balance. What does it mean that hope is as hollow as fear? Hope and fear are both phantoms that arise from the thinking of the self. When we don't see the self as self, what do we have to fear? See the world as your self. Have faith in the way things are. Love the world as yourself, and then you can care for all things. And that concludes chapter 13 of the Tao Te Ching. You can open your eyes now if you close them, or keep them shut. I mean, honestly, it might be safer to keep them closed, metaphorically. Chapter 13 tells us that success is as dangerous as failure and hope is as hollow as fear, which sounds impressive rolling off the tongue, doesn't it? Very ancient and mystic on a mountaintop energy, but honestly, half of the time, I don't know if the Tao is warning me, comforting me, or politely suggesting I stop spiraling in public. The Tao wants us to stand on the ground instead of climbing the ladder, which is beautiful in theory, but I've spent most of my adult life climbing emotional ladders that aren't even nailed to the wall. So I'm not preaching from enlightenment here yet. I'm more like the guy at the hardware store asking, hey, does anyone know which ladder doesn't collapse when you breathe near it? And then we get back to that news out of DC. A tragedy turned into a political weapon in record time. Fear broadcast, refugees blamed. A dead soldier turned into a campaign talking point, and Trump soft launching fascism like it's the new iPhone. And here I am, trying to find Taoist wisdom in the screaming void, while also checking my pulse every 10 minutes because the news keeps inventing new ways to make my eyelid twitch. Chapter 13 says hope and fear are phantoms that arise from thinking of the self, which is probably true. But also, have you tried not thinking of yourself lately? Go ahead. It's hard. I'm doing my best, and my best is inconsistent. The Tao says, see the world as yourself. And I want to, I really do. But some days, seeing the world as myself feels like a liability. If I saw Afghan refugees as myself, I'd protect them. If I saw the National Guard kid who died as myself, I'd mourn her, not militarize her memory, and then I'd storm the fucking White House and kick Trump's ass to the curb. If I saw the country as myself, I'd probably schedule an intervention. So here's the practice for you and for me. When the next crisis hits and the next one is already stretching and doing vocal warm-ups in the wings, waiting for its cue to enter stage left like a young Lin-Manuel Miranda who, just like his country, is young, scrappy, and hungry and is not throwing away his shot. Notice what hits you first when the next crisis hits. Hope? Fear? That familiar urge to bury your head in a family-sized bag of cheese-filled combos? Cool, same. Just don't let that be the whole story. Then ask, who's being dehumanized right now? And what would shift if I saw them as myself on one of my better days? That's the balance chapter 13 is talking about. Not enlightenment, just noticing. Not perfection, just perspective. Not guru energy, just trying and trying and trying again. And I'll see you next time to try again in chapter 14. From the edge of empire and the center of self. This is the Tao of Lloyd.